Hello, hello, my amazing artists. Today we're going to work on the good copy of our royal self-portraits. We're going to be doing the drawing portion today. And as you can see in front of you, there are two excellent examples of a royal self-portrait. All right, so let's get started. First, you should know that you should have already done your facial proportions and your facial features practice paper, okay? So you should really have that out for yourself to look at for guidance if you need it. Plus, it's also a good spot for practicing if you need. In your Google Classroom, you are going to see resources like these crowns. Sorry. All right. This is one of the slides in your Google Classroom, but also you are going to have these sheets in your Google Classroom for hair. That's one. Here's drawing short hair. Drawing medium hair. Drawing long hair. And remember, we're thinking of hair as shapes today as you keep going, okay? You think about your hairline or what you would see underneath that crown. And these are all things, like I said, that are in your Google Classroom. Okay. And there's more in there. So let's get started today. You need to have a piece of paper. You want to make sure you have an eraser and a pencil. And I'm going to draw in Sharpie pen to start just so that you can see better. Or Sharpie marker, I should say. And we're going to create the frame line of our project. All right. So we're going to start at the top. We don't want a huge frame. But we do want a frame. We're going to start at the top of our paper and pull towards us. That gives us the straightest line. If you do have a ruler or a straight edge, I guess you could use that as well, but it's not necessary. Pull towards you. And like I said, I can do this in Sharpie because I've had a lot of practice, but you should maybe do this in pencil first. Aha. So I have my frame line. Next step is to get started on your actual self-portrait. Now it's kind of handy dandy if you have a mirror near you so that you can look at yourself, but if you don't, that's okay too. Remember, where our heads start with what shape? We're going to put it in the center. We're going to start with that oval shape, but we're going to draw it lightly using sketch lines to get started. So I have my oval. I hope you can see that okay. I'm going to make the bottom of the oval a little darker just so that you can see it better. I am going to erase the top part later, so I don't want to make that darker. I'm going to come in, make my neck. Remember we talked about our necks not being too skinny. They have a slight curve to them. Then I'm going to bring that out and make the shoulders. The next thing I'm creating is the collar for myself, and it's going to be, there's different examples in your Google Classroom, but you can see one example here, one example here. I'm going to start with the medallion, and I'm going to just put it right here in the center and make it big enough so that I can put something inside of it later. I'm going to add the collar here, and like you saw, these don't have to be straight lines. You can make them how you want, really. When I'm finished with that, and like I said, if I'm going too fast for anybody, you can always slow this down or pause the video, okay? The next thing, remember, about halfway between the top of your head and your chin is your eyes. So I like to measure that first, make sure I really know. And I put two tiny dots that I can erase later for that. Zooming in. So we made our round irises, okay? Then we went through them a little bit. We draw the lid and the bottom. Now, that's actually just one way to do it, because then we are erasing that little part in there and drawing the eyelashes and making that pupil just a little bit bigger. That is one way to draw it, but if that seems a little complicated for you, I do have another way. It starts with drawing the outside shape. So that shape first, that football shape. Then what I like to do is draw the eyelid next, and then a set of parentheses. So, you know, sometimes we find different ways of drawing things that work better for us, and that's totally fine. All right, so I have my eyes. I'm going to leave these blank for now because I know I'm going to color them in later. There's the colored part of the eye and the white part. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add that line of lines. And remember, we're going to trace these later, so I'm not getting too detailed. I just want to make the basic shape. Let me fix that eyelid. I'm not as happy with it. There, that's better. Halfway between your eye line and your chin is your nose. So I'm going to come about here. I start with the bottom of the nose, and everybody's nose is beautiful and different. And that's okay. Little parentheses. And I'm bringing it in. This is the part where you can't trace because we're just adding a little shading here on the side of the nose. Little shading skills. And I bring that shadow up to the eye. The last step for this video is we're going to be making the mouth. Oh, I should mention something about the nose. If you wanted to shade both sides of the nose, that's okay. If you want to shade just one side, that's fine too. Funny thing about mouths, did you know that your mouth is about as wide as your two pupils? It is true. So I like to use this as a guideline. I take my fingers, I'll bring them down, and I like to see about how wide my mouth is. And I usually start with two tiny dots to kind of mark it out. Halfway between my nose and my chin. That's how far up it is on my face. Make that line. And then adding the top lip and the bottom lip. Remember, everybody's lips are different. Everybody's facial features are different. It's what makes us beautiful. Here we go. I'm adding my ears. Remember, your ears are from your eye line to your nose line. And they should be about even. We're going with some simple ears now. And voila, my friends. This is the first part to this drawing our good project video. When you're finished adding all of this, you can go to step 2, video 2. All right, happy creating.